If she's very resistant and rebuttaling, if that's the kind of woman that you want, have at it, right? That should not be the clue for a man to try harder, in my opinion. And sometimes that's what men think. I like a challenge. Really? You're not looking for a woman to think. You're looking for a woman to flow. So consider that, right? And when I say you're not looking for a woman to think, I don't mean despite her contribution to help you process. What I'm saying is you're not really looking for her to rebuttal. You're looking for a woman to flow. Because that rebuttaling, if it's toxic, it becomes a hindrance and you will be screaming and fighting for space to think. Because men need to process and think in silence. So when a woman starts to talk, her voice begins to sound like the teacher from Charlie Brown. He's not hearing anything. It's just wah, 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 wah. It's high pitched. It is deafening, right? So within that 6-month time frame, a man should be able, with intention, vetting and verifying, is she malleable, flexible in my sight? Is she accepting influence? And as she's malleable, how much of this is genuinely her? Right? Or does it seem like it takes a strong effort?
Yeah.
Right? So once you're able to see that, and the way that you can tell is if she's doing it without you needing to prompt her.
Coaching, yeah.
Correct. So, when, as a coach, my favorite clients are the ones when I give the homework to them and they come the next session with the homework complete. I know that they're accepting my influence. But when I have to remind someone over and over and over again, I need to build rapport. Because there's a glitch in the trust. So we have this belief that a man is supposed to be applying pressure. And again, we need to have these conversations in context. When do you apply pressure? With whom do you apply pressure? Are you applying pressure with a woman who's already chosen you? Or are you applying pressure to a woman who's moving away from you physically, communicatively, right? If you're saying A, she automatically wants to say C, B, Z, right? A woman like that, a cantankerous woman, a difficult woman is a woman that you reject. You move away from. Why? Because again, you are not marrying a woman for rebuttaling purposes. You're marrying a woman to flow, to preserve, to advance your purpose. So if you are thinking about your purpose, this is why relationships fail. Because when people get into relationships, they're not thinking purpose. They're thinking pleasure. I feel good. The sex is great, right? She looks good. We look attractive together. That's not a reason to get married, right? So if you know what your purpose is, it makes it a lot easier to discern the type of woman that you want. Because in some very rare cases, it will be helpful to have a rebuttal woman because it's if it is in your best interest. Because a yes for you can look like a no sometimes, right? So if you're in a political arena or you are a pastor or you have a public facing profession and you want to go into this bar or something like that that's going to make your reputation look terrible and she rebuttals that, that's in context, that's a healthy woman, you might want to keep her.
Yeah.
Because she's a yes for you, even though she's telling you no. She's still preserving your purpose. That's why you have to have it in context. That's why she's going to test you. And women are feminine energy, right? I'm going to bring it into a little bit of a new age conversation because I want to paint a picture for you guys. I want you to be able to connect. The feminine energy is considered to be a 360-degree round circular experience, which is one of the reasons why women ruminate. When we receive information, we think about it over and over and over again. We don't let it go. Men are linear, simple. There's a beginning and an end, 180 degrees, right? So when a woman has information, if you marry someone who is right, who is argumentative, she's going to ruminate on that argument. It's not going to stop. As a man, what you're going to do, you're linear, 180 degrees. What are you going to do? You're going to compartmentalize the conversation. You're going to shut down because you're not going to address that with her. However, if it's a healthy woman, because I want to be able to, I don't want to just talk about the red flags. I want you guys to understand what the green flags would look like. A woman who ruminates is a woman who's going to have you considering all parties that exist. She wants you to think about the kids, mom, dad, grandpa, the intergenerational makeup of the nucleus of the family, which is missing, by the way, in Black culture, which is why we're at an impasse, right? But she is thinking about that 360-degree experience. What about work? What about your schedule? What about your health? right? What about the kids? What about our parents? If we move too far away? To the unhealthy man that occurs as nagging, that occurs as arguing, to the healthy man that occurs as my helpmeet. She's helping me to think about the things that I'm not considering. The man, because he is linear and can compartmentalize, can help her by resolving those challenges, putting an end to it, because that's what you want to do when you compartmentalize. There's a beginning and there's a natural end. This is what we're going to do, full stop.
Solution.
Correct. With the children, this is what we're going to do, full stop. If he's stuck, what do you think? Why would that work? To help her arrive to the conclusion, as opposed to her becoming dependent on his ability to make decisions. Because she should be able to operate without you in the room.
Agreed.
Right? That is a massive mistake, which is why women study a man. I need to study you to know how you think, so I know how to represent you. It's why I have your last name, right? So when my father wants something, I can operate from my father. My father doesn't have to be in the room for me to make decisions for him. Anyone can ask me a question about my father. I can answer for him as if I was his own voice. Because I've studied my father. I've been around him enough to know what are his no's and his yeses. That's where you want to get your woman to be. So that's why you guys are going to have these conversations over and over again, over and over again. I don't just know my father because I'm just built like that. No, he's had several conversations. He has his standards and he doesn't deviate. He's consistent. So it's predictable, right? So if you're a predictable, healthy man and you're with a woman and you're having these conversations, these healthy conversations, she's going to have you consider all parties that exist, and you're going to help her come to the end of each piece. Now you have community. Now you have culture, the culture of your relationship. Decisions are easy because they're connected to purpose. You understand? It's all coming together?
Oh, I understand.
Okay.
I want you to talk to them because
Okay.
I feel that a lot of women don't understand the difference between a man with purpose
Yes.
and a man that is just not doing anything.
It's making you feel good.
Exactly.
I just want to feel good on the inside. It's like, mama, like that passion, that attraction, it dissipates. That's something that has to be renewed, regenerated over and over again. You cannot marry for that and have a long-lasting, healthy relationship. That's not what's going to make a relationship last. You need polarity. We need to be different. We need the yin and the yang. It's not yang, by the way. It's yang. So we need the yin and the yang, right? We need those differences. We need that depth. We need to be able to understand that we each bring something different to the table. Otherwise, we have codependency. Codependency says, I need you to move exactly how I move, think exactly how I think for me to feel okay.
And I think that's the push and pull of men and women. Because
Correct.
especially when a man is, again, living in his purpose, it's going to look like I'm trying to pull you away from what you're trying to do. But really, I'm leading myself to where I'm supposed to be. I'm leading myself to where I'm supposed to be. And I need you to trust me that I trust me and follow me.
And so that's why a man of your caliber 100% must learn how to vet and verify. Vetting is not enough. We need a verification process here, because the verification process is linking what was said and what is done. This is where the accountability part comes in. This is men's biggest frustration with women, the lack of accountability. And we absolutely will scurry around accountability all the time, because when a man expresses his anguish, his upset, his frustration with a woman, oftentimes a woman will see that as an opportunity to steal that from him and say, well, this is why I did it. And it's because I was feeling this way. So now he has to stop expressing himself, pivot the conversation to cater to her emotions. A man should not allow that.
Now he's tiptoeing around what's really wrong.
Correct.
Because now he knows the area is no longer safe.
Correct. So he needs to re-engineer that and dominate masculine frame. Baby, I get that you were upset. I understand why you did it, but we're shifting gears here and I want to keep us on track. We can talk about your emotions in a moment, but let's stay focused on this topic right here. I asked you to do X. You said you would do it. You didn't do it, and you didn't tell me that you didn't get it done. I was counting on you to get this done. It didn't happen, and now that left me vulnerable.
Yes.
Yeah, but I just got caught up. I understand what occurred, but I need you to acknowledge this is what I need going forward. I anticipate that you're human. I know that things happen, life happens. I need you to communicate when something has changed so that I know. Can you provide that for me? He needs to be firm and direct.
And what you just did, that whole tone,
Yes, that tone.
is exactly how it has to go down.
100%.
Because I feel that as men, when we throw the aggression in there, that you guys latch onto that and think, okay, now it's time to fight. When really we're just being very direct and very just, this is what has to do, this is what has to happen to get the outcome that you actually want.
That would be the verification to discern she is not healthy.